Welcome everybody to an interesting concept. Um, my ARC series has been put on hold due to scheduling conflicts and party interest in the game itself. So until that gets put back on track, I will be doing an interesting challenge, a permadeath run of Wizard 101 using, I guess, not my personal worst school to play in Wizard 101, but the generally accepted worst school to play as a Wizard 101 character. Uh, there's a bunch of people who seem to hate ice and life kind of intermittently, with a little bit of pushback from ice lovers due to the 108 Polaris spell being practically a miniaturized Tempest, leaving life kind of in the dust for later leveling. I myself have 9 characters. I have my 152 Fire, 86 Myth, 118 Death. My ice currently is just starting Mushu at level 54. So I decided, hey, I know a lot about support schools, and I do not understand the hatred that people have for schools that don't deal damage. And that's what it is. It's nothing more than speed. And I'm calling every single Wizard 101 player out there. Right now, the general populace believes that if a school cannot win a fight in 2 rounds, it is a terrible school. That is the general idea of what I'm seeing on Reddit, on forums, everywhere. And I, quite frankly, am astonished that people actually believe that, because it is not even close to being true. Every school has its own niche. And if you actually go through and you're like, hey, I want to play a school, and then you're trying to play a school like a Storm, it's not going to work. But if you play that school in its niche, balance is so underrated because people don't play it in its niche that, but it's also not rated one. It's like 4th on the list. It goes bottom 3 schools is Myth, Ice, and then Life. And so if you play these schools how they're supposed to be played, they are strong schools. And they are powerful in their own right, and they will not have any trouble beating this game. So that is why I have Orpheus Zenside here, who I will be going through and running 100% Wizard 101 guide to life, to the life school in general, as well as a permadeath challenge, meaning if this character were to die in any fight, I'd have to permanently delete him. And no matter where we get in this series, I will leave it up. So if I get all the way to the end of the game, it'll be the longest permadeath series to date, I believe. But because it's also 100% guide, that is what I'm really hoping will bring just shed some light on what it means to play Wizard 101 in 2026. So let's go ahead and get started.
Well, hello, if it isn't our newest student.
Now, back in 2008, this game was just started. Mushu was the last world possible, and everything was really old school. In fact, the audio files can still be found if you know which quest dialogue to look for. This is one of them. This one hasn't been updated in forever. We are not going to go through the tutorial. The tutorial is literally a 15-minute detour that we don't need. If you are brand new to Wizard 101, you just made your account, it's going to force you to go through the tutorial, and it's going to have you do some things. You're going to start seeing some of the spell animations that Wizard 101 uses. It's an interesting little tutorial. It actually sets up the Arc 1 story, which is Malistaire breaking into Golem Tower to search for a book. Okay, and he doesn't find it in Golem Tower. So instead, we have to chase him all around Wizard City in order for him to finally go through. And we'll go through, and I'll go through, and I'll do entire storyline breakdowns and interesting little tidbits. But let's go ahead and skip the tutorial. That's going to give us 35 experience, and that's also, or 33 experience, sorry. And that's going to drop us here. This is Merle Ambrose in his little headmaster study room. Off here to
Please
this,
come speak with me before you leave.
over in that section, you can find a map of the spiral with
Welcome
Gamma.
to Ravenwood Academy, young wizard. And normally, this is where you'd be enrolled and sent to your classes. But times are not normal. There's some kind of supernatural incursion in Unicorn Way that must be dealt with immediately. I wonder. You've demonstrated such potential, I think practical experience will serve you better than lectures. Care to put your talents to the test? Splendid. Time is of the essence, so I'll teleport you there directly. Seek out Private Connolly, the Wizard City Guard in charge of that area.
Okay, so this is actually different from when I first started playing. I still have about 3 characters that are still on the old XP system. My death is one of them. And then my life, second life, the one that's in Mount Olympus, is actually a mix of both. I've created these characters before the XP change, and then they kind of got graduated into the XP change. It's an entire deal. So this is a change. Before, it wouldn't just teleport you. You just have to walk your way over to Unicorn Way. Now it just teleports you. And then they added a whole bunch of tutorial things. I'm going to let the...
Welcome to Unicorn Way. There are creatures here who will attack you if you get too close to them, so stick to the task at hand.
Whoa, 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 young student. The street's very dangerous right now. Is there something I can help you with?
Wizard,
Okay.
do you see the symbol above Private Connolly's head? That means he has something important to tell you. Go speak with him.
Now, I'm going to be letting the natural story be played out, because that'll give some people who just want to throw this in the background, that's cool. They can listen to the story and learn a lot more about this game as I go through and explain things impertinent to that story, as well as just things in general, like deck setups. I'm going to have videos dedicated to deck setups before each world, deck setups after certain level advancements, like level 30, where you unlock Mount Olympus gear, level 60 when you unlock Waterworks, level 50 when you can actually get a decent power boost. I'll be talking about those gear sets. Every single thing that you're going to need to know as a Wizard101 character will be in this playthrough, and it's going to be not school specific. So I will go through and I will have a list when we start doing the gear breakdowns. I'll have a list of every single gear piece you'll need for each school, and we'll go through and I'll take a look at it. I have 9 characters. I have 1 of every school. I have 2 lives and 2 storms. It's good. So now, however, Gamma does all the little sides, the side notes, where if you just need a little bit extra explanation, you can go ahead and just search through those. Those are like, you just hit Q and tutorial tip logs. They'll pop up in here and everything. So we'll skip the stuff that Gamma says while listening to this storyline.
What's that? You say the headmaster sent you to help us? Well then, you're just the person, or wizard, I've been waiting for. This used to be a pleasant street, but we've been invaded by hordes of strange creatures. The guards and I have been doing our best to push the creatures back, but we're no match for their dark magic, especially the undead. Maybe your fancy wizard magic will do the trick. Go battle a few of those lost souls, then report back to me. Good luck.
To battle the monster, when you get...
Oh,
If you can drive away some of
oh, sorry.
If you can drive away some of these lost souls, we'll be in your debt.
I forgot he had a little thing afterwards. So yeah, Gamma's just telling you about the battle sigils. If you want to stay safe, you can walk on the sidewalks. But to enter a battle, you have to go and make contact with a spirit. Now, how will battling work? So this is a permadeath challenge, but I am not overconfident in my abilities. I'm confident. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly how to play this game. I've run 10 characters to Exalted, all beaten the game completely solo. You know, it is completely 100% possible. I've done it on every single character. This is actually my third account. I swapped over to a Steam account a while back, and just to have things be easier with game management. And so I did all that. And yeah, so I've had this account currently for a couple years now. It's been, I think, 6 years, but I made my first account back in 2008. I made a second account to duo with that first account back in 2013. And then I ran that 2013 account till about 2018, where I swapped over to Steam. So I've been, and then I've never looked back. I've been on the Steam one ever since. So I still have that first account from 2008 with my Decade Dragon. It's really funny. Now, how will battling work? I'm confident in my abilities to beat this game. I'm confident that I can do well. There's something in Wizard101 called the RNGesus. RNGesus is either good or bad. It's never in between. You can either have really good luck or really bad luck. It'll never, and it always happens when you need it the most. To kind of counteract RNGesus, I'm going to be allowing myself 3 fleas for any quest. So that means if I'm just having really terrible luck, I can flee from a battle 3 times per quest. So that means if this screen changes, I get my 3 fleas back. If it doesn't, I have to keep. I lose 1. This is to prevent, just prevent any issues, because especially when you're just starting out as a low level, you are going to run into some issues here. You're not going to run into any issues with Lost Souls, but you'll probably run into issues with, say, Lady Blackhope or Lord Nightshade, Harvest Lord, the final bosses.
While your character is transparent,
Beaten by a mere student wizard? Come, souls, let's get lost somewhere safer.
while your character is transparent, you are safe from combat, but it only lasts for a short time. Get to the sidewalk before it wears off.
Now, I'm also not going to be using a shared bank. So everything that I have, everything that I will have, has to be gotten on this character. I will not be using a shared bank, so that means any events pop up, I'm going to be sure to be handling those, getting those finished, where I'll probably do streams, maybe do some streaming where I go through and we do event work together. So that way, if you guys want to join me, I'll make sure to link my stream down below. If you want to see more, obviously, like and subscribe. If I get, let's see, if I get 1 million likes on this series in general, I will do another Wizard101 challenge, which makes it even harder. And I will do it on a storm.
That's turned the tide. We'll follow your lead and start pushing these ghostly things back. But I'm worried we won't be able to drive the phantoms away for good without knowing why they're attacking us. We've got to find out what's behind this. Another intrepid student, Sirin Nightchant, also came to help. Maybe he's learned something useful.
Yeah, so with the 3 fleas and all the other all the other regulations, no shared bank, nothing, I have no problem saying that I can definitely beat this game solo. As for team up, if a dungeon can naturally be soloed. And that means with no gear. I am not allowed to be using team up. However, if a dungeon cannot naturally be soloed, or is technically a farming dungeon, like Mount Olympus, like Waterworks, House of Scales, Tower of the Elephant, all of these places, I am allowed to use team up just to kind of speed things up a little. But I mean, I'm going to be farming these areas for a while. So I'm going to be streaming farming them. I'm going to have fun farming them. It's going to be great. I'm not going to limit myself because it's 100% guide. And while I might have a permadeath challenge just to test my skill as a Wizard101 player, this is a guide to where anybody who wants to play Wizard101 can play Wizard101. This is a guide to let them be able to do things.
Oh, hey there, I'm Saren. You're new here, aren't you? Well, I for one am very glad you're here. I couldn't help but notice how you took down those lost souls. I have to say, I'm quite impressed by your spell-slinging skills. When I heard there was trouble on Unicorn Way, I rushed right over. But then I saw what's out there. Skeletal pirates. Skeletons I can handle, but skeletal pirates? Pah! Yar! No thank you! Pirates give me the heebie-jeebies.
Excuse me, did I hear you two talking about skeletal pirates? If you're going to face them, please come talk to me first.
It would be good to know exactly what we're up against. Do you think you could battle a few skeletal pirates to see how tough they are? Great! I'll mark their location on your map. Thank you so much for doing this. Good luck!
Ooh, press M to access your map. You'll notice several points of interest, including the locations of enemies. Because you'll be engaging in combat, it's imperative you know how to regain health and
Go battle a few of the skeletal pirates on Unicorn Way. The guards will appreciate a report on their combat tactics.
Okay, so as for the topic of side quests are not necessary. This is a 100% guide, so of course I will be completing them. And they do count towards the storyline, so you will of course be able to listen to them. The side quest debate has been a topic of discussion, especially lately with the Arc 1 rework. And when I say Arc 1, Wizard101 has 4 current arcs. That's story arcs that have been dictated by the community. The side quests will have no impact on whether or not you reach max level on time. You will always reach max level before you finish the game. However, it just kind of debates on when you reach certain milestones. So Arc 1 has an XP buff, so that way if you did no side quests, you would reach level 50 at the end of Dragonspire. Before then, it was if you did every side quest, you would reach level 50 at the end of Dragonspire. And they changed that to reflect the new edition of spell weaving, where you could weave a second school into your spell book. And yes, I understand why they had to do it. Do I agree with them doing it? Not really, because instead of being level 50, doing all side quests possible up through Dragonspire, you can now reach level 60. I want to say 67, 68-ish before finishing Dragonspire. Now, my Ice character is just now starting the issue. I just finished Grizzleheim and Wintertusk. It's level 54. When I hit the first level of Dragonspire, I will be level 60. So, and then it'll be like 60... Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, about 65 is when I'll finish Dragonspire, and that is not bad. However, that's a 15-level gap between actually going through and beating Dragonspire now compared to how much you could get. That's 15 levels. and then going through, and Celestia is right after Dragonspire, and then you're boosting yourself up to 76, and it's like, what's going on? My level 86 myth is just starting Azteca at level 86. I am 6 levels above what I'm supposed to be. Actually, not even that. I am 8 levels above what I'm supposed to be. So the side quest debate is always going to be a question, but as a 100% guide, I will be completing them. As a solo player, you do not have to. They're not necessary to win the game. They do drop interesting things. I will say there are certain quests that'll drop neat little jewels. The most notable one is the Brandon quest in Polaris, who will guarantee your school Brandon jewel, which is a level 105 triangle jewel that adds Brandon to your deck. He's not good in the grand scheme of things. He'd be on par with a level 70 you. So
I'm glad I overheard you two wizards talk about those pesky skeletal pirates. They're looting the street and making such a mess. If something isn't done, we could be forced to leave the city. Please, will you help us?
Olivia is off. Quests marked with stars are part of the main story.
So this is your main quest. This is your side quest.
Good hunting.
There is a couple of interesting little factors. So I'm just doing a longer first episode, so that way you guys can really understand the grand scheme, the grand scope of what 100% guide actually means. So these are reagents, cattails, mistwood, golden pearls, everything you collect on the ground is a reagent. Reagents are used for crafting, and crafting can get you really good gear. So you've got the most notable crafting gear is your level 100 Darkmoor deck, as well as your level 125 wand from Arcana. And then of course there's the Winter Tusk gear as a second edition, and then even further. There's a lot of stuff we got to get through. I'm trying to keep on topic and trying to keep the story progression. I want to get through all of Unicorn Way today, so that's what we're going to do. Just to kind of get things going. At level 5, you can get a pet. At level 7, you can start fishing. Yeah. Now, I know all the shortcuts, so that's what I do. Like when I'm waiting for a battle, I'll just go through shortcuts.
Parley! Ye got guts, little wizard. More than us, to be sure, but ye be no match for that which rattles in the darkness.
Yeah. And so, one thing that I did like about the Wizard101 changes, now this wasn't the most recent change. This actually happened around 2014-ish. They, maybe not 2014. I feel like my memory says it's 2014, but it might have been a little bit later or a little bit earlier, where they allows you to combine the completions of quests. So before they fixed it, you would have to do each quest separately, and they combined it. Especially collect quest. Collect quest was where it was really noticeable, where if you collected an item for one quest and you needed it for a second quest, you had to do it again because it would say it did not collect.
Oh, bless you, child. I don't have much to offer in thanks, but please take this magic ring. Maybe it'll help you in your adventures.
To put on.
Oh. That's my bad, I forgot. They do that, like they intersect gamma at these early quests, and it really bothers me.
Oh, wow! You made it back! I mean, how'd it go? What did you learn? The pirates warned about a rattle in the darkness? See, this is what I was talking about. Pirates are always creepy and frustratingly vague. What is clear is that some evil magic has emerged here, and we're going to need more than a handful of guards to stop it. There is a powerful, ancient being who may be able to help us understand the dark forces we're facing, the wise seraph, Lady Ariel. Not only does Lady Ariel possess strong magic, she's also the warden of the ferries, and they keep her well informed.
You've received a temporary mount that will
Perhaps she's heard something about this rattle in the darkness. Go speak with her in the hedge maze at the far end of Unicorn Way.
Okay, so they changed that, so I'm now level 3, and we can go over some of the character sheet now. But they did change it to where now you get the enchanted broom after talking to Sarah Nightchant, and not after talking to Lady Oriel. Now, let's go over something a little bit about the character screen. So you've got your health, your mana. You need mana to cast spells. You gotta have health to live. Your experience bar, which shows your current experience. To get a total experience, you have to go to the Wizard101 wiki, where they have calculated all that for you. Your gold, you're capped out in lower levels at 300. It goes up to 350 once you reach level 80, and then it goes up to 400 once you reach level 120. Your crowns, which is your like pay to win stuff to get shops. That's your packs, your little gear, and everything. Your energy, that's how you train pets, do gardening, do fishing, and then your badges. Now, normally your character screen will start out like this. If you go over to the badges section, you can see your badges. You automatically get one for reaching level 2, and that's your school badge. For life, it's Thurgis. For storm, it's diviner. Myth is conjurer. Death is necromancer. Ice is thaumaturge. Fire is pyromancer, and balance is sorcerer. And then crafting is available at level 3. Gardening is available at level 12. Fishing is available at level 7. Monstrology is also level 12, and cantrips are level 25. And then magic weaving is available after Dragonspire, but it's also limited to a level 50 cap. And then you get a free pet hatch every 12 hours for members, 24 hours for crowns only people, or just free to play. And then we're now in our 5th age of PvP. I've been around since first age, and I was a first age PvP warlord. I loved level 30 PvP back then. It was so great. So yeah. Now, one thing that bothers me is you can actually go through and get the Force Tall Staff quest when you first start, but you can't go through and get the Zeke quest. You can't go through, like, if I go to the commons here, this is the commons, this is like the general area. Oh buddy, there's a lot of people here. I do not like playing on the busy realms. Not only does it just kind of slow down your internet just a tiny bit, but also it feels clunky. Just having a bunch of people having their own conversations. And then you get that like general chat, unsure of what they're going to say. So over here, once you actually finish Unicorn Way, you will see Lucky Hook line here. And here's the Tome of Fishing. You'll have, I want to say Eloise, and Zeke. Zeke will give you training point quests, and Eloise will help you stitch your gear. You've got Pet Pavilion where you can buy and train pets, not trade, sorry. And then the library over here is where we're going to get our second side quest. Now, the reason why I go through and I get this quest first is because before we finish Unicorn Way, we have to get this quest. Now, it's going to take some time because I just switched realms, and Wizard101 servers always really have trouble on the weekends.
Whoa there, chum. Stop a second and introduce yourself. Me? I'm Boris Tallstaff, ace reporter at the Ravenwood Student Gazette. I make the noise, I rattle the cages, I ask the tough questions, like, what's the deal with magic? Where did it come from? How did we learn it? We need to ask these questions, and, if there's time, answer them. But how? Books, huh? You know, you might be onto something there. But all the best history books were stolen by ghosts looking for the order of something. If you happen to find any of these books, bring them back my way, kid. I'll condense them into one crackerjack article on the history of magic.
This quest has use these arrow keys to select the objective you wish to complete first.
So that's
and
just
the
talking
quest
about
arrow
the
will point you to it.
multiple objectives. You can kind of switch between which one you want to complete first. And then that's actually a quest that shouldn't be popping up at all. So Wizard101 devs, if you are seeing this, please fix that. That is not something that should be happening. You should not be able to do 3 street side quests without having first completed Ravenwood. They did that change, and I guess they never fixed it. Now, you just go through... a lot of stuff is locked behind Wizard101. I mean, not Wizard101. Unicorn Way. You go through and you just kind of gotta work on it. Now we're gonna go ahead and equip this broom here, and it's gonna make us 40% faster as we go through and take care of things. So we're gonna go through here. The challenge that I'm thinking of doing when this series reaches 1 million total likes is I'd like to do a permadeath complete solo, meaning no team up at all. Nobody's allowed to join your battles. Basically, no side quest, no farming, storm run. So that's what I was thinking of doing. But then I'm also like, if I can't farm, I honestly don't think I could beat the game. And it's not even just that, it's like some of these worlds require a certain amount of gear. If you're in Azteca, you absolutely must get Waterworks gear or better.
Halt! What purpose brings you into our hedge, maid? Forgive me, young wizard. These dark times make me leery of new faces. But now I see the light within you. We've much to discuss. The evil forces that loosed the undead upon Unicorn Way have also corrupted my precious fairies. Please, you must help them. Vile bone cages have appeared along Unicorn Way. They are filled with a mysterious dark magic that corrupts all fairy folk who venture near them. Dispel the dark magic in the bone cages, then bring me fairy dust from those it corrupted. It may reveal to me who is behind this atrocity. It pains me to say it, but the only way to obtain the fairy dust is to wrestle it from the dark fairies in combat. Try to be gentle. Once you've dispelled the bone cages and collected the fairy dust, return to me immediately. Good luck, young wizard. May the light guide you.
Okay, so just a kind of background on Wizard City. Wizard City is not really... I don't want to say pertinent to the storyline, but let's be real, it's not. How the Wizard101 arcs work is you go to a world, and I'd say maybe until you reach the later worlds, 30% of all quests in that world actually pertains to the main quest line story. And then the other 70% is just going through and learning the background about the world, helping them sort their priorities in order. Because, I mean, what's the general rule of thumb? You can't comment on somebody else's house until your own house is in order or something like that. I don't know. So for Wizard City, the world, we go through and we have to clean out Unicorn Way. Then we go through and we find out that somebody's taken over 3 streets. So we got to go through and clean those back out. And then from there, we just kind of go through and, well, I mean,
Oh, I could feel the darkness down in my bones. But now that terrible cloud has been lifted, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
you know, so we go through and we clear out the 3 streets, and that's where we find out that Malistaire, which Malistaire is actually the Arc 1 villain. You see him in
You
the
hear
tutorial.
a tiny, joyful voice call your name.
Thank you for helping us, kind wizard. Your courage and benevolence will not soon be forgotten by the fairy folk.
Yeah, so and I'll go through and I'll slap a photo of Malistaire up right now. Yeah, so that's Malistaire. He's the Arc 1 evil villain. And there's a bunch of conspiracy around him. There's also a bunch of conspiracy around the life school teacher, which I think is super funny.
You've cemented your reputation as a hero to the fairy folk, young wizard. With the bone cages dispelled, I can help the other corrupted fairies in time. Now we must root out who is behind this attack. Please, let me examine the fairy dust. Is that? But how? The fairy dust displays scars of a dark magic banished from this world long ago. Could it be? Rattle in the darkness? Rattlebones. In life, a ruthless tyrant who was banished to the underworld for his crimes. If I focus, perhaps I can sense his location. Oh, so much darkness. No, my vision is obscured. All I see is a tower ringed in bones. Siren Nightshant knows Unicorn Way. Perhaps he can help. Quickly, you must ride to Siren at once. Ask him if he knows of a tower ringed in bones. Go.
Okay. Yeah, so that's actually when she would actually go through and get us the mount. She would say, time is of the essence. So go to Siren Nightshant. Which it was what it is. It is what it is. It's just a little bit of continuity breaking there. Because I don't know. It just feels continuity breaking. Now, one thing about Malistaire. So, Malistaire raised a bunch of spirits from the dead, broke open the gates of the underworld and stuff, just to look for one book. That's why we're doing all this, because they've taken over these streets to look for a single book. So that's Rattlebones' tower. And yeah, so, and even Boris Tallstaff said that. All the best history books were stolen by ghosts looking for the order of something. So that's a nice little nod.
Hello! You were gone for so long, I was beginning to worry you'd run off and joined a skeletal pirate crew. What did Lady Oriel have to say? Oriel thinks an underworld tyrant named Rattlebones is behind all this? Wicked. Let me think. He's in a tower ringed in bones. Well, the skeletal pirates do seem to be concentrated around the old archives. Try looking there. Here, I'll mark it on your map.
Yep. Okay, and then let's do the side quest. So
I sent Private Orion down the street a while ago, and he's not back yet. With all these lost souls about, I fear the worst. Orion's a good friend of mine. Could you go see if he's all right? He may be hiding in one of their houses. See if you can find him.
Say, can you check up on someone for me? I usually see Dorothy out shopping by now, but I fear she's too afraid to leave home.
right there, you could tell the difference in the audio.
She's just down the road a bit, and she usually keeps her lights on. She doesn't like all the lost souls roaming around. Can't say that I blame her.
So this is part of the old Wizard 101. And then this
I sent Private Orion
is
down
part
the
of the
street
new
a while ago, and he's not.
So they really did change a bunch of audio files, but they forgot to change all of the audio files. So if we go here and then we talk to Private Orion.
Get back on, Dead Fiend! Oh, a student, is it? You're a brave one. Connolly sent you to check up on me? I'm well, but I did have a bit of a scare. I was making my rounds when a horrifying ghost swept out of nowhere. I recognized her from the old stories. Lady Blackhope, the Wailing Widow. I'm not ashamed to say she scared me half to death. I hightailed it here and shut the door. I can't leave this place if she's still out there. Black Oak Tower's not far away. That must be where she came from. Maybe something in there can drive her spirit away.
Yeah, this is another quest that was changed that I didn't really like. So Private Orion actually used to be all the way down this this street in that house all the way at the end. And then you'd go through and he'd ask you to defeat some skeletal pirates, but now with the change to how Old Town works, he gives the quest to defeat Lady Blackhope.
Oh, hello! You say that Private Conley was worried about me? He always does fret so. I'm all right, but I wish someone could do something about all those ghosts outside. Sometimes I wish Auntie Em could join me here. I'd feel better with her around. Say, I was having my friends over for dinner, but they are running late. I fear for their sake with all those ghosts roaming around. Could you check up on them? My two friends live on this street, down towards the park area. Look for a house with a light on in the window. You can't miss it.
And right here is the first Easter egg in Wizard 101. They littered them around the worlds. There's a whole bunch of Easter eggs. In fact, most of the worlds have a overall Easter egg pertaining to modern media of some sort. So the first Easter egg in the game that you will actually see is if you do the side quest, Yellow Brick Road.
What?
It is
You say that Dorothy is looking for us? We were just about to be on our way.
Oh, I told you we should have left earlier. Now we've gone and made her worry about us.
I'm sorry, but I cannot find my oil can. You wouldn't want me seizing up on the way there.
Oh dear, we always go through this. Can you return to Dorothy and tell her we'll be running late as usual?
And that is the Wizard of Oz, which Wizard of Oz has gotten some pretty big media with Wicked coming out Wicked Part 2 coming out in the last year, and then Wicked getting a whole reboot as well.
They are safe and sound? It's good to know that they are just running late. Now I won't have to worry. I always fear a wicked witch might show up and whisk them back to her castle. This land is so strange. Not like back at the farm. But I do like it here. Headmaster Ambrose is such a nice wizard, and my new friends are nice too. I'd say that in all, this place is as fun as a barrel of flying monkeys. Would you say hello to Private Connolly for me?
Right there. That's also a different that's a different voice audio. Yeah, so if you read too much into it, the immersion kind of does break, especially in the earlier worlds. They're doing their best to like revamp them. It didn't always look like this, but when doing that, they kind of mess up on changing certain things, aspects of it. Now we're gonna go ahead and defeat Lady Blackhope. I'm just going through collecting everything I see, reagents, wooden chests. Because I'm not allowed shared bank, I have to collect all of my reagents for crafting from here on out. And I need quite a lot.
The city guards are scared of me? Well, They should be. Everyone should be. Malister has opened the seals. The dead rise. Let all who still live beware. My dark master will be avenged.
Yep, so right here is where you would find out that Malister has opened all the seals to the underworld.
You want me to stop haunting this street? Ha! Let's see if you have enough spirit to stop me.
Now, this is where you gotta be really careful, because this is like the first boss that can actually kill you as a wizard. It's not even that difficult. What you gotta do is you just gotta kill the skeletal corsair as fast as possible. Yeah, see, I didn't do it. But it's a 2-on-1 fight, meaning twice the damage incoming for 1 times the damage outgoing. And it can get quite annoying, especially if they start spamming spells like Firecat, which these are extremely weakened versions. Did they update her again? That would be crazy if they did. If they updated her again to have weakened versions of all the spells. If this does less than 55. Okay, yeah, no, they completely weakened all her spells. You no longer have to worry about this boss. I'm over here, you know, this is like my first hurdle in a permadeath run, and it's not even a hurdle anymore. Less than 55 and it's not possible. Oh, there's 71. There you go. Because Ice Beetle has 55 minimum, and that's on the weakened version. That's crazy. Anyway, so yeah, no, we go through. We're about done with Unicorn Way, and then we'll end the video there. It's a bit longer. It's an intro video. It's great. A lot of them will be a lot shorter. I'm going area by area in my videos, so that's how it'll work out. It'll be area by area. So you'll go through. We're doing Unicorn Way and intro right now. When we finish, we'll next episode will be Ravenwood, Old Town, Commons, just all the general stuff,
You have enough
as well as the
spirit
deck
after
setup for the.
all. Go tell the guardsmen I will haunt them no longer.
As well as the setup for all the other 3 streets.
Life magic was said to have been discovered by the earliest inhabitants of the Ravenwood, guided by none other than Grandfather Tree himself. He instructed his early disciples to plant trees and tend to a grove to learn the complex interactions of all living things. As these early theurges advanced in their studies, so too did their gardens improve, eventually sprouting the sentient spell trees. Not just of life magic, but all the schools. Each tree embodied a new form of magic, a new aspect of existence. It was through their growth, study, and teaching that magical law was tested, explored, and codified.
Yeah, so the Boris Tallstaff quest has you go and defeat a whole bunch of bosses around Wizard City to where you can learn about the history of magic, and that's a very important thing. So we know now that life mages are the cultivators of the spell trees, and they were what brought the ability to spread magic to all teachers around.
Glad to hear Dorothy is doing well.
And so we go through. Now, this does not mean that life magic was strictly set to just life. It's hard to explain. So you could learn magic from the original users, But with the life magic bringing the spell trees around, it became easier to teach magic.
You defeated Lady Blackhope? Thanks, Wizard. I'll return to my post now. As a favor, please don't tell Private Connolly what happened. I don't want him to think I'll flee from the first ghost that chases me. I only run from the really scary ones.
Yeah, so, and I mean, that's what Storm had the Tritons. Storm had the Titans, Fire had the Dragons, Ice had the Giants. Balance ended up being about neutrality in all things. So they got it from Peace and Harmony. Death got it from, let's see, plenty of things to get it from Death. Necromancy is one.
Good work, my thrall. This could be the tome Magister seeks. Now what's this? A wizard? Excellent. I could use a combat break. Let's play.
Yep. And this is your first storyline boss battle. So this can be tricky if you're not careful. It's usually pretty easy. I don't think I've ever heard of somebody actually failing this fight. You'd have to pass like 30 times to fail this fight. So sorry, water break. So yeah, no, I mean, it's an easy fight. There's not really any issues with this fight. But still be careful, you know, if you end up having to go somewhere and then immediately start passing everywhere, it might be better just to flee unless you have a really good spell. Most of the time, unless you're fairly new at Wizard101, you will have a pet or something to just kind of help you out. Or you'll have other gear. It's super easy to farm gear in this game. It really is. You just got to know where to go. The best...
The day is yours, young one. But the Dark Master's plan is already in motion. You haven't heard the last rattle in the darkness.
In his haste to leave, Rattlebones dropped the tome he was holding. It could be important. Perhaps Saren will know what should be done with it.
Okay. And that actually marks, so this, turning in the quest we have...
As you walk back onto Unicorn Way, you can't help but notice that the dark magic that was previously choking the street seems to have abated.
Yep. So, when Malistaire brought back Rattlebones, quick recap of Unicorn Way. When Malistaire brought back Rattlebones, he immediately went back into his Tyrancy, caused a bunch of fog on the street, shadows, the outbreak of skeletal pirates and lost souls, and then the capture of fairies and turning them into dark fairies, which was what he was known for, and then going through and just causing havoc and all. In story terms, okay, so as a RPG game, you have, you know, they have to choose somebody to be low level, so that way they can leave the better bosses for high level, and there's a sort of progression. But in storyline terms, I would put Rattlebones probably on par with, I guess, Marleybone Power storyline terms. And then of course they bring him back later on in Master Dungeons, Exalted Dungeons, as well as
I see you found Orion. I suppose some monster scared him out of his wits and he was too frightened to come back.
Well, Well, see, what had happened was...
Well, it's not the first time, and I wager it won't be the last. All's well that ends well. Thanks for finding a wizard.
And then of course there's a nice surprise appearance of him in Mirage, which we will get to. And I think that I feel like the Mirage appearance over boosted his actual power levels. So, but I mean, that's again RPG scaling. You have to have that kind of descaler and overscaler.
You did it, didn't you? You beat Rattlebones! The darkness plaguing Unicorn Way is lifting. Look! With Rattlebones defeated, the gods should be able to drive away the rest of the undead horde. Ooh, that tome looks important. You should take it to the library in the Commons. Harold Argleston will know what to do with it.
All right, and that right there signifies... oh, nope, we don't have the Hero of Unicorn Way badge, so we can't really do anything until we have that. If you're having a little trouble with combat and kind of figuring out how the combat system works...
Aha! Hello
talk
there,
to
my
Diego.
friend. Headmaster Ambrose, most excellent. This will take but a few minutes. Into the door to the arena to begin.
It's about a 5
Welcome,
to
my friend, to the
7 minute.
dueling arena.
It's a 5-minute tutorial. It teaches you everything about basic combat, and then of course you can come back later at I think level 30, and then level 50, and then level 80, and then up to I don't even remember when he stops. But what you really want from him is you want conviction. It's good to get it now. You're not really worried about spending your training points just yet. So you get conviction. And what conviction does is it's not useful for like an entire world of sorts. I'm trying to think, when's the first time stuns are involved? I think Marleybone. So you won't need it until Marleybone, but just having it available in your deck is useful. So we'll go through, and just now coming up on the end of the video timer-wise, as well as the end of the video story-wise. Wow, perfect timing. We'll go to the library, and this is what's going to give us the
Well,
badge.
hello there. I don't think I've seen you in the library before. I'm Harold Argleston, Master Librarian Extraordinaire. You say you recover this tome from an underworld tyrant who is going to give it to his dark master, Malistaire? My, I do believe this is a matter for Headmaster Ambrose. You should take the tome to him. But before you go, allow me to reward you for your heroics. Please.
Treasure cards are special one-use spells of various schools.
But before you go...
Treasure cards... Press P during combat. Right? Remember, unlike regular spell cards, treasure cards can only be used once. So
They're
use
useful.
them wisely.
They give heals and everything. You can buy some treasure cards from him. They'll cost gold. I go through, and I usually go through and I'll buy a leprechaun. Just because that's what we'll have the gold for. And a leprechaun can really help, you know, in the later scheme of things. So we'll go through. And then, of course, Merle Ambrose over here will finish us off and give us the badge for Hero of Unicorn Way, which is completing all quests in Unicorn Way. And that ends the first section of the video of Wizard City. There's going to be 5 more videos, 6 total, just for Wizard City.
Oh, good, you're back. I'm anxious to hear your update on Unicorn Way. Evil darkness summoned from the underworld? Oh my. Rattlebones, you say? But he was banished centuries ago. How could... Oh, Malistaire. Of course. But why? Rattlebones was searching the Unicorn Way archive for this tome? Well, let me see what it is. On the trail of the Order of the Fang. Oh, my stars. I will certainly look into this. While I do that, you need to attend to the matter of your long-delayed enrollment. If you are to truly master your magical talents, we must induct you officially into our academy. I'll send you now to Mr. Lincoln, our registrar in Ravenwood. He will introduce you to our professors and help you begin your studies.
From time to time, you'll many.
Okay. So, that's just a tooltip about potions. So yeah, that's Unicorn Way. Now, I was thinking about it, and I think there's actually going to be, I want to say 6, but it might be 8. I'm trying to think. So, Triton Avenue, Cyclops Lane, Colossus Boulevard, Firecat Alley, then the 3 dungeons, including Haunted Cave, and then... And by the 3 dungeons, I mean, of course, Falcase, Lord Nightshade, and... No, 2 dungeons and a Haunted Cave, sorry. And that brings us up to 5, and then... Right. And then I kind of want to do one just setting up for... I'll do one that just sets up for Crocotopia as well as anything else I miss. Maybe... I'll do one for Crocotopia, setup, then fishing, crafting, and all the extra stuff that is good to know. So we'll just say 6 more videos for Wizard City as a whole. And yeah, so thank you all so much for watching this episode of Wizard City. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And please, again, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more content. I'm just doing this because I found so many people who are hating on Wizard101, life characters, ice characters, just because they're saying, oh, it's too slow. A school can't be good because it's too slow. And I'm like, that's not true. And then I'm also seeing a bunch of people who are refusing to do they'll go onto forums or they'll go onto the Discord server and they'll complain about it being too hard because they're just not going through and learning everything that is required, like all the gear sets. And that's what I hope to do to fix this. This series is going to be fixing all that. So it might take a while before I get up to your wizard's character level, but that is okay because you need a foundation to build on. And if you don't have that foundation, you can't really claim you're a good wizard. So I hope to see you all in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching.